Barrett Carter, Clemson star linebacker, according to a lot of people, a projected first-round pick. The guy's ridiculous. He's very talented. We're privileged to have him. Said what? He said he's out of shape? He said he wasn't conditioned? He said he wasn't ready for the game? I'm going to get to the end of that in just a second. None of this is clickbait. What I'm telling you, this is kind of swept under the rug so far. And to me, this should be the biggest story in Clemson right now. Before I jump into that, I am Brian. I'm not Bobby Durkins. If you're new here, hope you subscribe. If you return, you hadn't subscribed yet, you want to support the channel for free, subscribe. It does help the channel out. The channel is growing like crazy. Also, if you want to support the channel on a monthly basis, there's a $3 and $5 tier. You won't even notice it coming out. People are already joining like crazy. So join them and making a good decision. Just support the channel. Remember, I'm just a nobody in his bonus room. I'm a nobody in his bonus room. I don't have, if you look back here, you don't see little strings attached to me not to say certain things by the Clemson community. I say what I say, not for shock factor. I just tell the truth and let the pieces fall where they may. So I'm going to put this link from Clemson Insider. I'm not affiliated with them. Also have another link. I'm putting this in the live chat section so you can actually see this for yourself. I'm also going to put another link in here. If I can find it, forget that link. I'll just stick with what I have. And I'm going to read to you in Barrett Carter's own words what he said about being out of shape. All right? This is not clickbait. This is real. If I can get this to pull up, I am so sorry. There's the Clemson Insider, okay? I want to go back to this. I apologize. It was just there, and I totally lost it. All right, here we go. This is Barrett Carter's words. You only get 2 scrimmages, and you have limitations in that. So there's no, that's not Carter's words. I'm sorry, folks. I'm totally botching this. Basically, Barrett Carter, when interviewed, and I please forgive me for botching that there, but when he was interviewed, concerned about his shape, how good of shape that he is in, or just talking, about how in shape, or just about the game. That was it. He talked about that he was not fully conditioned for a real game. Okay? Now, I want to go ahead and say this. I don't look at that young man and go, how dare you? Yes, the guy's one of the top linebackers in the country, according to a lot of experts. The guy's fast. He's talented. There's a great chance that the cat's going to be a first rounder. Remember, he's a guy. I don't see him as a kid. I don't see him as a man. No, not taking a shot at you. I'm just 40. It's now when I look at 20-year-old and 21-year-olds, I respect them as adults, but I don't see them like these ultra mature people, especially these guys when they're flung into the, onto the stage with the bright lights on them, all because they play a sport very well. But other than that, you really don't know what's going on with them on a maturity level. I'm not knocking him. This has nothing to do with him there. This actually deals with our coaches. This may be the most damning remark or anything that has slipped out of the team since the 2018 season. after we won the national championship. And then the 2019 season, there was still a lot of really good things going on, but they totally got out coached by LSU in that championship. And you thought, oh, that's just because that was a once-in-a-lifetime team. We didn't know that was the beginning of the complacency. And then the next season, we saw what happened. And the next season, and the next. Do you notice what we're doing, folks? We're descending. Clemson has more 4 and 5 stars on their team than almost every team in America except for Bama, Georgia, and maybe one or two other teams. That is the truth. Go look it up. Go figure it out. Big Red says this. Listen to me. He's being honest. It's the coaches that are to blame. Boom. Yeah. The guys who, listen to me. These guys, they are there. They're being paid. You can go look up their salaries right now. Position coaches right now being paid $300,000, $350,000, $400,000, $450,000 a year. That's fantastic. I have no problem with people being paid a lot of money as long as they do their job. If you're a neurosurgeon and you go in and every time you do surgery on someone's brain, they either come out mentally handicapped or they just die, you shouldn't. First of all, you shouldn't be practicing, and second of all, God forbid they pay you anything. If I did as poorly at my job as they've been doing recently, my company would fire me. And I just don't get what's going on. You have the talent. Dabo Sweeney did more with 3-star talent in his early days than they are doing right now with a team full of 4 and 5-star talents. You know it. I know it. We all know it. And unless unless you're one of those old-time Clemson fans that's screaming, "Go Tigers," and you sing the alma mater at the game, and you know how long to hold that one part where it goes, I never know when to stop. And I've been going to games for a while now. I mean, it's just like, I don't know when to stop holding out the alma mater. Who cares if you know that? And you're one of those people who I'm just pulling for my team. You see like those women walking around Hobby Lobby on a Saturday and they got their Clemson shirt on. It's like, it's game day. And you're like, oh, really? You're a Clemson fan? Yeah, I pull for my Tigers. That's good. Boy, that was you name out some player to them. Boy, they did really good the other day. And they go, hey, I really don't keep up with the team, but I pull for them. Go Clemson. That's who you are. People like me who actually keep up and know the players and pay attention to the coaches and plays attention to the game. You know what? People like us, we actually get ticked off. Why? Because we care. Barrett Carter saying that he is not in game shape is not his fault because he's not the coach. He's not the positions coach. He's not strength and conditioning. He is an athlete who could be playing anywhere other than Clemson, who could hit the transfer portal at any time, which he's not going to do that. He's going to go into the NFL, make more money than all of us, and he could be doing great right now. But that guy, a guy that we've all been looking forward to play, to watching him play, and he admits that he's not completely out of shape. He's not a slob. But he's not in game shape. Who's in charge of that? You know, I wish we had someone like a leader who would hire other leaders, and then those leaders might even have assistants. And they would make sure that the players did all their workouts and understood the plays and made sure that they were really focused. They really understood the goal. They really understood the process. They were actively seeking. I wish that there was like some type of structure. I wish there was like some type of structure to where it was like you had this leadership team to do that. What would you call that? Somebody who would like train you, almost like a teacher. What's the word I'm looking for? A coach. My God. Once again, ask yourself, could you do this poorly consecutively? And the ship is going down. Would you not been fired at your job yet? Would you have not been read your rights? They would have pulled you in there and they looked at you. Jay Melvin, I'm just picking on you because I see your name right here. I'm going to speak to everybody in here real quick. Jay Melvin, I don't know what your job, I don't know what you do, but I'm just going to throw this in there. Whatever your job is, Jay Melvin, if you did a poor job and it just kept getting worse, and the next year it got worse, and the next year it's going down, and the year after that it's going down, it doesn't get so bad to where they can fire you. But man, it's starting to get there. Would they not pull you in wherever you work? Would they not pull you into the office and look at you and go, sorry, dude, something's got to change or you're done? Grayson 950-815, Dabo won't ever be fired. You're right. He would have to rape somebody for them to fire him. And I don't want him fired. I tell you what I want. I want the old Dabo Sweeney back that was just focused on winning. Our offense looks bad. I'm going to get the best offensive coordinator in here and tell him to do whatever he's going to do. Somebody is rumoring around that Dabo's actually calling some of the plays right now. I don't know if that is true. I'm just going to say this. I don't know what is true anymore when it comes to this football team. At this point, I don't care. Just fix it. I want to say hello to a couple of people in here. Jay Mellon, I already called you out. Hurricane Kilo Sports, good to see you, my friend. He says, go Canes. Big Red, it's good to see you. Jennifer Duncan, Jay Coop. Got TriStar in here. Says the boosters and AD need to have a come to Jesus meeting with Dabo to say if he doesn't start using the portal or NIL that he will be fired. I'm gonna pause right there. I'm gonna tease TriStar. I understand where you're going with this, and I agree that the culture and the mentality has got to change and adapt to a new style. But the number one thing is we need to go back to old style football where we don't fumble the football twice inside the 5-yard line. We can go to the we can go to the transfer portal. We already have an NIL system that is set up right now, and it is, from what I understand, very well funded. He's just been vocal he doesn't like it, but they are using it. They're not using the transfer portal, but here's the deal. If Clemson is going to continue to call the same plays, that quick pass out to the wide receiver over here and over here, they could get Keon Coleman, the guy that's tearing it up down at Florida State that transferred in from Michigan State. He won't be running downfield catching the balls, those high point passes that's making highlight reels. No, he'll be blocking out in the flats. Why? Because that's the crappy play calls that we're calling. Clemson has 54 or 5-star players on their football team. They're more talented than almost every team in the country except for Bama, Georgia, maybe Ohio State, and there's one other team. Everybody, that's what everybody keeps, they just keep talking about that over and over and over. Josh Pate, with the late kick with Josh Pate, put this schematic up 2 months ago. Clemson is ranked like 4th or 5th with total blue chip players on the team. A lot of people has forgot that because how poorly we've been doing or how lackluster we've been looking. Now, Monday night, we just got our tails kicked. Even though we had 200 yards passing and rushing, who cares if you can't score touchdowns? If I see one more quick pass out to the left or right, I'm going to scream. A lot of us are calling it screen. Some of us are calling bubbles, whatever. We all know what we're talking about. That quick pass out there. When did our game at Clemson become horizontal instead of vertical? I was at the 2019 Clemson, South Carolina game. It was in Columbia. Trevor Lawrence threw, go back and watch the highlights of that game. Trevor Lawrence threw such a doggone long pass to T. Higgins, and he had beat his secondary coverage by a mile. He threw the ball so long that when he released it, it looked like he jumped. We're not even giving Cade the opportunity to throw downfield and throw out of bounds. I want to pause there. Thank you if you're watching this video for the very first time. Please drop a comment in here, especially if you're a first-time guest. If you're not and you're somebody who just keeps coming back for more punishment, I'm glad you're here. If you want to support the channel, first you can do it for free by subscribing. My analytics, my channel is growing really, really quick. But my analytics is telling me there's still a ton of you who consistently watches me, but you're not subscribed. Please subscribe. Really, it does help the channel. Remember, I'm a nobody in here. I'm not like some of these guys on here who has 150,000 subscribers, and then you find out they have a network behind them. I'm a guy by himself. Well, my family's here, but this is my bonus room. I'm doing this because I love Clemson football and I love college football. If you want to support it, if you like someone who's truly independent, please, please just help out. I just saw this right here. And also, if you want to support on a monthly basis, there's $3 per month or $5 per month, and you won't even notice that. I really do appreciate that. Or a super thanks here tonight. You do it one time. Trey Stevens Music said, just subscribe. Trey, thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for doing that. I really do. And please follow in his footsteps. Going back to this, Barrett Carter said that he was not in game shape. He said it. Now, I found this from SaturdayRoad.com, and I'm going to put this in the comments section, or in this section right here. It's right here in the live chat. You can see that right there. I'm going to read this for you from SaturdayRoad.com. I think just game shape is just different. Now, pause there. I've said this before. Even if you're playing Charleston Southern, or maybe you're playing two smaller teams at the beginning of the season, I'm not against that, so you can get acclimated to the game against a team, even if the talent on the other team is not near as good as your team you have to play against in practice. I'm not against that, because they're still a different team. They're different human beings with different tendencies. And at the end of the day, they hate you because they're part of another team. They want to hurt you. They want to punish you. They would like to put you in traction. That's kind of the barbaric nature of college football. That's why we all show up. That's also why they wear helmets and a bunch of pads. So I agree with that sentiment. You go through practice and all of that, and there's no replicating the speed of the game. I agree with that. Just for me, I need to get some extra running in and make sure my conditioning is where it needs to be just to play 4 quarters or however long the game will take. I realize that really early in the game, I need to get in better shape. It's something I've been attacking since that game. I'll definitely be ready for the next games that we have. Folks, I ask you this, and I ask you this, and I ask you this. Who allowed this guy who can be a first rounder? Who allowed him to not be in shape? Well, strength and conditioning. It's everybody around him. Doesn't he have a positions coach? Doesn't he have a defensive coordinator? Doesn't he have a head coach? If one of the top players on your team, every time you would turn on ESPN, CBS Sports, Fox Sports, and they were talking about players to watch out for in this college football season who could be a first rounder or a second rounder coming up, Barrett Carter was always first on Clemson's team. It was a mix between him and Jeremiah Trotter. And you mean to tell me that he's admitting he's going into game 1 and he was not in shape? That's not on Barrett Carter. That's on coaching. I'm sorry, folks. Let me go ahead and get this out of it. I don't believe we should fire Dabo. No, this is what I believe Dabo should do. I believe Dabo should go back to his old ways of doing things. I'm going to find the best people to run my offense. I'm going to find the best people to run my defense, and I'm going to let them do it. I'm going to find the best position coaches, and then I'm going to trust my hire. I'm not going to come in and try to coach if he is doing that. Listen, folks, I don't need anyone to come in here and tell me, well, head coach is the final say. Yeah, I know that. I'm not duh to that. I'm saying trust your hire. And this is what's happening. You just had your star linebacker admit that he was not in shape for the very first game of the year. Clemson's going to go out tomorrow against Charleston Southern. They're going to beat them into the ground. They're Charleston Southern. First-year head coach. They just barely beat North Greenville College. Trey, I've never heard your music, but I'll put that up there. He's playing at the Tiny Orange stage tomorrow before the game by Little John. You want to come listen and hang out? I'm actually about to go out of town, Trey. I won't be at the game. I was thinking about bringing my kids there. Just, it's a cheap game too. But you get to go and hang out. We're leaving. We're going to be leaving. So everybody go check out Trey Stevens and tell him that you saw him on the Not Bobby Durkin show. And I appreciate it. Hey, Tiger Paul Craven, it's good to see you in here. Got Parker Henderson in here. My old buddy, my old pal. Big Red, I don't think Beamer's going to be passing him anytime soon after what I saw Saturday night. I think Beamer's a fantastic coach, but it's still South Carolina. John Seton, we're soft. That is soft. You're right. Jay Melvin's in here. We got Still Gamble. TriStar is in here. We have Jay Coop. I know I'm flashing these up really fast. Luke Godwin. We've got a bunch of people in here. Grayson. Got 70 in here. Hey, I hope that I have 70 thumbs up. I have 70 people in here. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. It's free. It's the free way to support a channel. And if you want to support monthly, you can do that in either $3 or $5 per month. You won't even notice it. But I do appreciate it. Let's getting back to this. Barrett Carter admits this week that his strength and conditioning was not up to par. That's not Barrett's fault, folks. That's not his fault. You have a group of men who are paid very, very well to make sure that he is in shape. He's only one of the most well-known players right now on the Clemson football team, according to NFL draft analysts. He's kind of a big deal. And he's sitting in front of a mic. Can you imagine what was said to him after he made that comment? Somebody had to go to him and go, "Hey, pal, wished you hadn't have said that with all the hell breaking loose and stuff, with us, Riley Leonard breaking that tackle against you and whoever." I think it was XT that had him at the bottom. It could have been somebody else, but for some reason I was wanting to say it was XT and Barrett Carter, who that long run that Riley Leonard had, it was them that had him in the backfield for a loss. Can you imagine breaking a tackle of Barrett Carter, a projected first-round pick, and Xavier Thomas? I know even with his health problems he's had, he's still a hoss. You have those two guys on you, and you break their tackle? Folks, Riley Leonard is fantastic. He's not that good. This right here, what we're talking about right now, should be plastered all over Clemson media. It should be plastered all over college football, and I just found out about it by accident. Nobody in my comment section has mentioned this to me. I keep hearing about the transfer portal. I keep hearing about Dabo possibly calling offensive plays. I've heard about Cade snubbing Dabo. I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't seen anything. But Barrett Carter admits that he was not in game playing shape. And people are barely talking about it. This is the biggest news that I've heard since Monday night. That's right. Tiger Paul Craven, that's right. That's the last thing you expect to hear week 1 when we just got done with fall camp. That's embarrassing. You have to be in better shape. And Ted, I see your comment there. No one is in game shape until they start playing in the season. Still not smart for Carter to say that. I'm not worried that Carter said that. To me, that's and I understand what you're saying. I have said this, especially over the past few years. I know nothing of football. Is that what you just said? I know nothing of football. Or are you talking to someone else? If you're saying I know nothing of football, I was fixing to say that, and I normally don't even acknowledge that, but I'll acknowledge it. He's saying it to you. Either way, here's the deal. I have said that as I've gotten older, I have a total appreciation for the cupcake games at the beginning because preseason does not exist in college football. And you have to get your feet up under you. But for him to come out of fall camp and immediately admit that afterwards, I don't think that the young man should have held it back. I think he should have said it. Too many times, I don't know how many, I've worked in the corporate world, still in the corporate world, and I can tell you right now, there was issues we knew were issues, but we knew not to say anything. Why? Well, it's not professional. You remember Brenning Stoll last year going, hey, the middle of the field is open. Why don't you throw it to me, basically? I They shouldn't have been out of that. Shouldn't be that out of shape. I'm sorry. I agree. I agree with your sentiment, but I disagree with you on that. And I understand that. And listen, my friend. We can disagree. We can disagree. You know, I'm not calling. I'm not calling. That's not my style. You would have to do something like you'd have to say something heinous or something. I'm not. There's no contentions between us. I'm just saying that it just keeps getting worse. The players look like they don't care, or like they're not completely in it. Monty McShane, that's I literally just said that the more and more that I think about it, what's up with our defense? What is up with our defense? Like I've given them passes because of PTSD probably last year. Of having that PTSD to where they're sitting there going, oh man, the past few seasons, our offense hasn't helped us out. But more and more I think about it, missed tackles, made Riley Leonard look like Michael Vick. Riley Leonard is good. I told you he's good. But he's not that good. The guy is good, but he's not that good. Clemson's got problems. And this coming up this week, Barrett Carter admits his conditioning was not up to snuff in Clemson's loss to Duke. How in the Lord help me, I shouldn't even say it like that. I need to keep it as clean as possible. I was just saying how in the fill in the blank, and I shouldn't even allude to that. Try to keep it as family friendly and up to my personal beliefs as I can possibly do it. With that said, how? How? And the more and more you think about this, the worse and worse it gets. Trey Stevens, that's a great point. Either the people who rate recruits don't know what they're talking about, or there's no player development in Clemson's program. Yeah, I think that's more of it. Folks, I've got a bunch of people in here right now. I have 90 people in here. Now, the night of the loss, let me go ahead and say this. The night of the loss, I had like 630 plus in here. I couldn't believe it. But I'm glad 90 of you are in here. Hit the thumbs up. If you want to support the channel for free, subscribe. It's easy. It's easy to do if you want to support it monthly basis. There's a $3 and a $5 tier. You won't even notice that. Like I can scrouge through my car and find $10 and change in there. But if you want to support it, I do appreciate it. But I'm going to tell you what's going to happen tomorrow, and I'm going to shut up. Tomorrow, Clemson's going to come out and dominate the crap out of this teeny tiny school out of Charleston. Charleston Southern's going to take their money, their paycheck, and they're going to go back to Charleston. And then next week, Tom Herman and Florida Atlantic's going to come to town, and Clemson's going to beat them. And all the Clemson fans, and remember, I'm a big Clemson fan, been pulling for them for many years. The Hatfield days. I've lived through a lot of bad Clemson football and still pulled for them. Only time I pulled against them is when I wanted them to fire the coach so they could bring in somebody that was brilliant so we could do good. Yeah, that's I'd be like, yeah, I hope they lose today to that team because they'll finally fire this guy they should have never hired. And all of a sudden, when Florida State comes to town 2 weeks from tomorrow, people are going to forget it. Well, you know what? I'm going to believe that everything's going to be okay. Because go Tigers. Folks, I'm going to tell you, if the staff does not get it together across the board, Florida State is going to drop their drawers and crap all over us because we just crap the bed with the nation watching. And it seemingly is still the same old moral victories that we're trying to come away with. I don't sense an embarrassment. Like, hold on, I'm a man. I want to prove that I'm not a loser like this. Duke is well improved, but their schedule last year was soft. Now, we will find out how good Duke is this year. If Duke wins 9 games this year, they're really good. And I'll tell you why. Because last year they didn't play Clemson, they didn't play NC State, they didn't play Notre Dame, and they didn't play FSU. Do you know who they play this year? Well, they already played Clemson. They play those other 3 teams this year. So if they come out even 9-3, Notre Dame or Duke's a pretty doggone good football team. If Duke wins 10 games or something like that, they're legit. But I don't believe they will. They came out and played the game of a lifetime. And you know what? It's not hard to play the game of a lifetime when the other team gets the ball inside the 5 and fumbles it twice. Shanks a kick at about 25 yards out. That looked like me kicking. No offense to Gunn, but that looked like me kicking. The lack of creativity at play calling is absolutely mind-numbing. I talked about don't show your playbook unless you have to. Well, they had to the other night, and they still didn't show it. And if that was it, my goodness, that was terrible. John Sitton said, "You're just a young boy. I've been in this mess since Red Parker." My dad was telling me the other day, he said, "Look, I've been dedicated since Charlie Pale." Because that's when he started paying attention to it. Dad would have probably been near the Red Parker. Maybe Red Parker days. Yeah. But folks, I'm telling you straight up. You let Florida State come into Clemson. And absolutely destroy us. Halo says that I'm live on his boat. Am I really? Are you fishing Hartwell at night? Or are you just hanging out on a dock? I miss hanging out on a dock. I miss being on a boat when it's sun's starting to go down, Lake Kiowee. Oh my God, I could write a country song based on that. I was questioning about that, Ted. I was questioning that as well. I want to go up here. John Sutton said this. Dabo looked like Tommy Bowden looked against Wake, defeated. Have you seen the pictures of the post game? Halo is fishing on Lake Murray. I got a house on Murray. Well, look at you down there fishing and listening to Bobby Durkin. Not Bobby Durkin. You're not listening to Bobby Durkin. My there, booger. Get some beer. I'll come fish. Durkins. For those people like, what did just happen there? The pictures of Sweeney and even Garrett Riley was walking off the field. He was just kind of like, had that smirk on his face. And I'm like, guys, you should be walking off this field mad. This week should have kicked off Hell Week at Clemson. And next week is Hell Week. And the week after that is Hell Week. And Clemson never stops having Hell Week. Jay Melvin wants to know where Bobby Durkins is right now. I think he's singing at a local VFW with his cousin Dale Durkins, who is known as the VFW singer. Yeah, he's out singing tonight. Or as he says, singing. He's a fan of George Strait and Keith Whitley. Two totally different vocal types. I mean, Durkins and Keith Whitley, but he's out there singing. He did say that he's always wanted, no matter how old she is, he's always wanted to tongue kiss Loretta Lynn. It's weird for me, but hey, I put up with him. All right, folks, I have 107 people in here right now. If you just got in here, here's what I'm talking about. Barrett Carter, he said what? He admitted this week, a few days ago, and nobody's making a big deal about this. This should be like what everybody's losing their mind over. That he was not in game shape. He realized it. And I don't take it on Barrett. I'm sitting here going, what are the coaches around him doing? Are we wasting more talent? The answer is yes, folks. Just in case you didn't know that. Aaron, my old buddy Aaron. My old buddy Aaron. Jesus loves you. May there not Bobby Durkins. Aaron here. Only pop up during football season, but I've been a fan since the 56-7 video. LOL. God bless you, buddy. A $10 donation. Aaron, you know what? You have always supported the channel. And thank you for showing back up. Yeah, you've changed your name. And I forget it, but I see those fine young men right there. Fine young man. Look at him smiling. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, and thanks for showing up. Bobby Durkins is still alive and well, folks. I've backed off of Durkins. I know people is asked that, but Durkins still shows up. I've been doing a lot of shorts. If you've not been watching Bobby Durkins shorts, he has a new thing called You Mean to Tell Me. And his shorts are actually getting a lot of views, but I'm just went back with Bobby what I initially wanted to do, and that was comedy. I started doing the Clemson football thing, and people got to know me for it, but I really just enjoy doing comedy. And yeah, man. So it's you know, it's very different, but thank you for supporting the show. Jack Nelson said, if you played football, it's very different to be in practice shape versus game shape. I get that. I get what you're saying, but our defense looks out. You just had the number one guy on the team, according to a lot of NFL analysts. You just had him openly admit that. So coming out of fall camp, yes, you're still having to get your feet under you. You're having to get in shape. But man, he should be he shouldn't be admitting as much as he's admitting. And I want him to tell the truth, Jack. I really do. Jack, thank you for supporting the channel at $5. I really, really do appreciate that. That really does help out the channel. And I do appreciate it. I appreciate your thoughts. I appreciate everyone's comments who's hopped in here. Thank you for supporting the channel, Jack. Thank you to anybody who has joined monthly. $3 per month or $5 per month. You won't even notice that. But I do appreciate you doing that. Definitely a lack of fire and intensity. We are not. That's something else too. There is not an intensity there. When Garrett Riley, and this is on both sides of the ball now. Now you have Will Shipley. Will Shipley is just he's different. Okay. He's a different guy. All right. But there's a lack of intensity on both sides of the ball. But I'm telling you, that is set. I can't stop hiccuping and burping. This is crazy. But folks, I'm telling you, this guy or this team does not have intensity. And Garrett Riley, in his first interview with the press, said, we are going to be powerful and explosive. And to play championship football, you have to be both. That's the reason why the Big 12 kept putting a team in the playoffs, and they would go and run up 9,000 yards per game and 60 points per game. And then they would get into the college football playoff and get the logo ripped off their helmet. Why? Because they were not powerful and explosive. They were explosive, but they were not powerful. Other teams are powerful, but not explosive. You'll see a team who can move the line of scrimmage, but if they ever get down, did they ever get down by 2 touchdowns? They're done. Why? They're not explosive. Championship football teams are explosive. On the defensive side of the ball, I am not seeing this crazy dominant fire. Now, I'm seeing it from certain players. Makuba plays with a lot of fire, folks. Jeremiah Trotter plays with a lot of fire. Barrett Carter has that fire. Peter Woods, the true freshman, he has it. And I'm probably missing someone else. And y'all will be more than happy to tell me. But overall, as a conglomerate, and even just the team, something's just not right, folks. Well, listen, I'm going to go lay down. I have a long day tomorrow. And then I'm leaving for vacation. I'm pulling for my Tiger. I love my Tiger. What bothers me is we're sitting here. We're not talking about a walk-off field goal that Duke played at the game of a lifetime and they just beat Clemson by a field goal. No, we're talking about a 3-touchdown loss where Clemson gave up 20 points. A blocked field goal that if you go back and you look at that, it doesn't even make sense. A blocked field goal, a shanked kick, and then turning over the football inside the 5. Not once, twice. I don't think I've ever seen that in major football. Michael Fornbacher, my old buddy out in Las Vegas. May there, Bobby, Brian, or whoever you are today. I'm both of them. Thank you for $20, man. Thanks for supporting the channel, my friend. Really, really thank you. I really do appreciate that. You're out there in Las Vegas. I don't want to know what you do for a living. I don't. I'd have to probably be part of the deposition. But I appreciate you supporting the channel. And I appreciate you for you just show up year after year and just give to Bobby Durkins and not Bobby Durkins. But thank you so much for that. Folks, I want to tell you this. One good thing that has come out of this loss is more and more people has been reaching out to me telling me, hey, dude, I may not agree with everything that you say, but I really like what you do. And remember, I'm a nobody in his bonus room. And there's people in the main media that I respect. I do have respect for a few of them. Most of them, I just don't even believe they know what they're talking about. They might even play, but I just don't think they know how to analyze the game or maybe look at a whole. But do you know what? They still get to do it with a major platform. Me, I'm just a guy here in his bonus room, just talking about football, stuff that I'm passionate about, and y'all keep showing up. Do you know how big of a deal it is to have 92 people on just a regular video on a channel my size? That's actually a big deal. Thank you all for joining me and viewing. Thank you to the people who subscribe. Thank you to the people like Michael here and Nilsson and let me see, Jack Nilsson and Jesus Loves You. That's Aaron. I'm glad Jesus loves me. I need it. We all need it to support the channel. I really, really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. And people are joining. People are joining the monthly Bobby Durkins, not Bobby Durkins deal. So thank you to everybody who's been joining. $3 per month, $5 per month. There's 2 different tiers. Thank you. But just drop in the comments, hey, man, I've had texts from people I didn't even expect going, hey, man, I really appreciate what you're doing. Like you're doing a good job. And I'm like, whoa, I never hear from you. And you're just out of nowhere saying that. So thank you. I do appreciate this. Tiger Paul Craven just supported. By the way, Tiger Paul Craven, he and Jordan Bowman, they actually have the honor of running the Clemson channel for Mark Rogers. So if you want to find another good Clemson football loving tag team, look no farther than the voice of college football Clemson channel with Tiger Paul Craven and Jordan Bowman. Tiger Paul Craven, thank you so much for your compliment. This is great content. Make sure you guys like and support. Thank you so much, dude. Back at you. Thanks for coming on the show the other night. I'm going to have you back on. Hopefully we can get Jordan Bowman on with you as well. We're going to talk, and hopefully this time I won't have some of the issues that I had. But thank you so much for supporting the channel. I'm closing this out. Barrett Carter admits that his conditioning was not right. It was not up to par. I agree with you, folks. I'm not disagreeing with you that workout shape and game shape are different. That's why I've said that as I've gotten older, I appreciate 2 cupcake games at the beginning to get your feet under you, get your timing down. Once again, even if you have better talent that you're practicing against versus who you're going to be playing against, you're still playing against people who despise you. They're not your teammates. They're not your buddies. They're not part of your alma mater. I agree with you there. But that he would admit this out loud, to me, more and more is making sense. It's not on, and by the way, Barrett Carter, if you see this, I doubt you will. I'm not singling you out. You're not. This is not on you. This is on the people who's paid a lot of money to ensure that you're the best version of you. And it's just one more spoke in the wheel that this bicycle is going in the wrong direction. And it's not at the championship level that it is. And folks, I just hope if we could just get the old Dabo Sweeney back, that would just do anything. Trust the hires he made. Do anything that's ethical to get the team going in the direction. Folks, we'll be a championship team tomorrow, but I'm just not seeing that. I thought the Garrett Riley hire was going to be the fix. I thought that was we're back. Some folks, and maybe we're still paying for the craziness that's happened over the past few years. Maybe that's it, folks. Maybe just maybe that's it. I don't know. I'm still pulling for my Tigers. I want the old Dabo Sweeney back. I do appreciate what he's done. It's just, folks, this is not looking good. This is not looking good. You know it. I know it. Even I have people who are messaging me who are not Clemson fans who will start off by saying, hey, I can't stand Clemson. I can't believe what's happening to y'all. Like, they're not being sarcastic or taking a jab. They mean it. They're shocked at what's happening. They can't believe it, what is happening to the program. And I can say, it's sad. It's sad. I hope they turn it around. But hey, yeah, it is what it is. Folks, thank you so much for joining me. I'll catch you next time. I'm going to try to do some videos while I'm on vacation. Try to do some videos tomorrow, but we're packing to go on vacation. So I don't know where I'll be. I don't know where my mental space. You know how it is. Packing for vacation. You need a vacation from that. Packing for vacation. It's just so nuts. But I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Drop me a line here. Make sure to subscribe. It's free. And if you want to join. But at least please subscribe. I do appreciate you being here tonight. Y'all take care of yourself. Good or bad, it's always good to be a Tiger. Go Tigers.